Okay, this is Mr. Elmhorst with the Unit 7 Proportions Test Reteach. I wanted to go through and clarify how to set up the part total proportions table. If you notice on the right, it kind of looks like a tic-tac-toe table. Well, right here, a tic-tac-toe board, we're going to focus with the middle each time and put the labels in there. So go up in your information, we have students, and go up into the word problem situation, we have some comparisons being made. They're talking about students and sharing a locker. So let's fill this in as sharing a locker. And then students, it doesn't say which one they are. So that is going to be our general term for total. And it means there's a missing part in here. If there's sharing, then there's not sharing. So once again, just to clarify, we're going to focus on part total, just so we can set up all the information and we can be asked any question when it comes to solving. 12 students, and then this other one is 5 share. So we had all kinds of kids. So we have 5 that are sharing lockers, and then 12 students is going to go down here. But I noticed on the test, I had kids put 5, 12, and 456 all on the left side. I was excited that kids were using the method, but they weren't filling it out correctly with the labels. So because this is students, there's 12 students, and then this is also students, the ratio is making the comparison of 12 to 456. All right, a little mental math. We could put 7 in here. 12 minus 5 is 7. If 5 are sharing, 7 are not sharing. So we go down to the question, and it's asking the question about sharing. So like a tic-tac-toe board, we're going to cross out the one piece of information they're not asking anything about. And then circle what they are asking about. So that is the piece of information we need to solve for this proportions table. What I saw a lot of students do on the test is they divided 456 by 12, which is great. And I believe they got 38. But then that was one of the answer choices. And they're like, yeah, I divided. And then they selected that as their answer. But that's not the solve. That's your factor to solve. Great job dividing, but then you need to apply what you found. 12 times 38 is 456, and then 38 times 5 would have been the solve. Okay. Do not blurt anything out. Multiply that out. I'm not covering that right now. The part of this reteach is going through setting up how to use the proportions table and how to solve. You're going to solve them all at the end. Sylvia is making some white and pink or white and red mixes to make some pink. So what's the part or what are the parts being compared here? White, red, pink. So white, use the middle part to identify the comparisons that are being made. Now we go into the given information and it says white is 7, red is 3, and a little mental math would tell you, you mix it all together, you get 10. So this is the given ratio information. It says how many cups of white would be used if there was 12 red. Yeah. Now, down below, because the question is asking about white and is talking about red, you can X out pink. That is not part of this problem. And it says 12 cups of red. So we're looking from 3 times 4 is 12. and we're looking to solve this part up here. So some students on the test, they divided by 3 and they got 4, which is great. They found the factor, but because it was one of the answer choices, they got distracted and then they selected that as the answer. But 4 is not the answer. 4 is the factor to multiply by. So what it's saying is red is multiplied by 4. Then you also have to multiply white by 4. I was very unhappy about this question with how many times kids ask me about it. So we have spots and frogs and frogs. So we're going to label the comparison spots and frogs, spotted frogs and total frogs. But that left room for, well, there must be spots and then there's no spots. So we got spots, no spots, and then frogs. What I saw is kids did this. They saw numbers and they lined them up on the left, and then they're like, what am I solving? Slow down. Use the labels to fill in the information. Spots is 14. Frogs is 70. The original information, the context did not say anything about no spots. But if you subtract these two, you got 56 no spots. And then the other piece of information is asking about a prediction of a population of 200 frogs. Well, we have 70 frogs and we're going to 200. Okay, so based on the study of the results, how many will not have spots? So we're actually looking for no spots right here. Since we're looking for no spots, we can cross out the other one. The question is not asking about it. There was a bit of drama. Some kids got this far and they're like, but Mr. Homer, 70 doesn't have an exact multiple, it gets to 200. Okay, calm down. You could have divided it. You would have multiplied by like 2.9 something. What about estimation? How many 70s, about how many 70s rounded up go into 200? 3. 70 times 3 would be 210. So you could have estimated and used the factor of no spots times 3 and frogs times 3. So make sure you're completing that part. You can finish the computation once we're done with the front and back. We're just setting it up. Tickets, concert, regular tickets, VIP tickets. So what are the two parts? Regular, VIP, and both of them are tickets. So now we go into the information and it says regular is 5 and VIP is the second one and the ratio is 2. So regular is 5, VIP is 2. A little mental math would tell you that this is 7. Okay. Now, we go down below, we look to see what they're asking. 350 regular tickets sold, how many VIPs? So we are looking for VIP over here. And then regular, the given information is 350. So it's not asking about the total number of tickets sold, so you can cross that out. Now, some students did great with this part. They divided 350 by 5, and they found that 70 had something to do with it. So they divided 350 by 5, and they're like, yes, I got 70, and 70 was one of the answer choices, and they clicked on it. So 70 is not the answer, 70 is the factor. So now we take 2 times 70. If you multiply regular times 70, then you multiply VIP times 70. And that would complete your multiplication table. Or not complete your proportion table. So please scan up and down the front side of the paper. Notice there's 4 problems: part, total, part, total, part, total. Now, once you flip it over to the back, this is a different style of question. We are not actually looking for the total. We have 2 different parts that are being compared. So these are rates, but we can still use the table. But I wanted to clarify that if you have 2 different things, you have a rate, you don't need the total down below. So you would just have part to part. So what 2 things are being compared? Ounces and pints. And we take the labels and fill in the numbers with ratio on the left side. So 16 ounces, 1 pint. Now we go over and fill in the other information, ounces to ounces. So we have 16 to 24, and we are looking for the pints. I don't know what the exact factor is. What do you multiply by? So 24 divided by 16 will give you a factor of 1.5. So go to the next one, inches and feet. Inches and feet, these are not like items, so we're not going to do total. How many inches high is Niagara Falls if it's 60 feet? Well, we have 12 inches and 1 foot. 60 is in the feet category, so we're going to put 60 directly across from 1 with the feet. Now we do our comparison, times 60 times 60 for the salt. I did not see very many students miss this one. This was, the data was looking really good on that one. So Ted Williams Tunnel under Boston Harbor. I spent the summer out in Boston, by Boston in Massachusetts, doing delivery for FedEx 5 years ago. And they have, they have an epic fireworks show on the 4th of July out there. And it's over Boston Harbor. Because of all the history, the colonialism and everything, that is one of the best fireworks show that I've seen anywhere in the United States. So how many feet is in the length of the tunnel? Well, we have miles and feet. Miles and feet. 1 mile, 5,280 feet. We're not going to use the total for this one. And it is giving 2.5 miles. So how do we go from 1 to 2.5? We use a factor of multiplying by 2.5 to convert the feet. Now, we had a few issues multiplying with decimals. Students should have multiplied by 25 and then moved the decimal over 1 time in their answer. So a lot of kids were multiplying by 2 and then trying to do it separately, and they were coming up with incorrect answers. And last one, Melanie is tutoring 3 hours for $28. What 2 things are being compared? Dollars and hours. So we got $28.50 for 3 hours. We're not going to be looking for the total down here, so we can cross out the bottom row. And $28.50 divided by 3, I believe that gave us $9.50 per hour. And unfortunately, some kids did a great job of dividing and they got $9.50, and that was one of the answer choices, and they clicked on it. $9.50 is not your answer. $9.50 is your factor. 9.5, 3 times 9.5 equals 28.5. And then hours, the question is asking about 2. So you would have multiplied 2 times 9.5. Make sure your name is on the top and you complete complete the other parts that we did not finish together, and then turn in the reteach.